this may not be the best quality, and it's the end of the day, and I'm not looking my best, but that's okay. God uses all things in all times. So, what I'm going to do right now is I am going to read part of Ecclesiastes. I reference Ecclesiastes as an area where the Bible shows that people in the Bible experience times of being overwhelmed and uncertain. And this is what I want you to hear. The words of the teacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? Generations come and generations go, but the earth remains forever. The sun rises and the sun sets and hurries back to where it rises. The wind blows to the south and turns to the north. Round and round it goes, ever returning on its course. All streams flow into the sea, yet the sea is never full. To the place the streams come from, there they return again. All things are wearisome, more than one can say. The eye never has enough of seeing, nor the ear its fill of hearing. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which one can say, look, this is something new? It was here already long ago. It was here before our time. No one remembers the former generations, and even those yet to come will not be remembered by those who follow them. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I applied my mind to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under the heavens. What a heavy burden God has laid on mankind. I have seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is crooked cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I said to myself, look, I have increased in wisdom more than anyone who has ruled over Jerusalem before me. I have experienced much wisdom and knowledge. Then I applied myself to the understanding of wisdom and also the madness and folly. But I learned that this too is a chasing after the wind. For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. This is just the first part of Ecclesiastes. And he spends quite a bit of time identifying what seems meaningless. And it's all of the human effort. But recognizes that even with the human effort, there's some things that are just God's order and God's control. And that does not change. God's plan does not change. So, but then we get to a little bit further, and I would love to read all of it, but quite honestly, it's kind of long. So let's see here if I can find it. After going on and on about what all is meaningless, there is a part that he starts to come to basically identifying that what we really need to be doing is realizing how God is involved. So in chapter 5, it starts out, guard your steps when you go to the house of God. Go near to listen rather than to offer the sacrifice of fools who do not know what they do, know that they do wrong. Do not be quick with your mouth. Do not be hasty in your heart to utter anything before God. God is in heaven, and you are on earth, so let your words be few. A dream comes when there are many cares, and many words mark the speech of a fool. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to fulfill it. He has no pleasure in fools. Fulfill your vow. It is better not to make a vow than to make one and not fulfill it. Do not let your mouth lead you into sin, and do not protest the temple messenger. My vow was a mistake. Why should God be angry at what you say and destroy the work of your hands? Much dreaming and many words are meaningless. Therefore, fear God. So, basically, what he's saying there is what you do is important when it's because of God or when your focus is on God, not when it's for your own personal gain or for your own personal pleasure. If it's for God, everything starts to have a meaning. So let's see if I can find the next part that I want to show you. All right, so I'm sure there's more before it gets here, but we're going to skip all the way to chapter 11, and we're going to go to verse 7. Light is sweet, and it pleases the eyes to see the sun. However many years anyone may live, let them enjoy them all. But let them remember the days of darkness, for there will be many. Everything to come is meaningless. You who are young, be happy while you are young, and let your heart give you joy in the days of your youth. Follow the ways of your heart, and whatever your eyes see, but know that for all these things God will bring you into judgment. So then, banish anxiety from your heart and cast off the troubles of your body, for youth and vigor are meaningless. Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come and the years approach when you will say, I find no pleasure in them. Before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars grow dark, and the clouds remain after the rain. When the keepers of the house tremble and the strong men stoop, when the grinders cease because they are few, and they look through the windows grow dim. When the doors of the street are closed and the sound of grinding fades, when people rise up to the sound of birds but all their songs grow faint, when people are afraid of heights and of dangers in the streets, when the almond trees blossom and the grasshopper drags itself along and desires no longer is stirred, then people go to their eternal home, and mourners go about the streets. Remember him before the silver cord is severed and the golden bowl is broken, before the pitcher is shattered at the spring and the wheel broken in the well, and the dust returns to the ground and it came from, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Meaningless, meaningless, says the teacher. Everything is meaningless. Not only was the teacher wise, but also imparted knowledge to the people. He pondered and searched out and set in order many proverbs. The teacher searched to find just the right words when he wrote the upright and true. The words of the wise are like goads, their collected sayings like firm embedded nails, given by one shepherd. Be warned, my son, of anything in addition to them. Of making many books there is no end, and such study wearies the body. Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the duty of all mankind. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. So, mostly, if you could summarize this book, I would say that the author is despondent, realizing that everything he has done, all of the things that he strived for, his possessions, his relationships, everything had somewhat of a selfish focus, but it was really meaningless. He realized that without God, there really was no purpose in any of it. So when we are overwhelmed, when we are feeling like we don't know why we exist or why we do what we do, I think when we come to Ecclesiastes and we realize that this author looked at everything that he did in life and found that without God it was meaningless. And what made meaning to his life was when he decided to fear God and obey God and to bring everything to God and doing things keeping God in mind. Then all of a sudden everything had meaning and it was important and it was what God's purpose was. So I hope this is helpful for you. And